this ship was submitted by Yellowknights, so thanks for the ship submission. It's a flagship with some disruptors, and the idea of the ship is to counter enemy flagships. Because like the disruptors are there to break shields, and the flag cannot be stopped by other overclocked flag. So I think that was the idea right there. I'm not sure how well that actually works, so let's test it out. Set this to hold fire and set those to pirate. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen. The disruptors can't really break through the enemy flag clouds. So yeah, so your own flag has to deal with the enemy shields, and flag is really bad against shields, so yeah, so I don't think like this is really the way to go to counter enemy flagships. I feel like it's better to try and flank flagships because they have a very narrow firing arc. They are not well defended from the sides and the back, or I don't know, maybe even to kite them. That can also work. Or like send nuke sticks in or something like that. So I feel like the ship concept itself isn't that competitive, but it's an interesting idea, so we might as well try to optimize this. Okay, so oh, there are okay, yes, something I immediately see is that there are capacitors here, which are, I guess they are needed in this case. Yeah, I think I would just remove those, honestly. I don't think you need those. The small reactor can't power all of this? Suggested 4.4. I don't know how this number is calculated. That it's kind of a mystery to me. If I ever get the chance to do some, if we ever get some better modding tools, I will try to adjust those counters a bit. Okay, and what we can do in return is, because yeah, that is a bit close now, we can overclock the small reactor. And that way we will still have enough energy. Now the heat production is a bit over, but that's good. That just means we are fully utilizing our radiators. We do have heat storages, so this is fine. Yeah, something else I notice is that there is a thruster directly behind all of the vulnerable bits, like the control room and the reactors, and that's something you never want to do, because you just give your opponents a straight shot all the way to your reactor. So I would straight up just remove this thruster. Yeah. Something we could try in this ship is that instead of using normal thrusters, we reduce the thrust count a bit and we use overclocked thrusters, Because overclocked thrusters are just much more efficient and you want to use them whenever that's possible at all. Yeah, let's see if we can do something like that. Maybe something like this, and we can move the screw here. So somewhere else, like here, or something like that. Yeah, let's have there be a corridor so that the crew doesn't have to walk all the way through the storage here. And let's overclock both of those. Wait, those are... Oh. Oh, right, I need to hold a wire for it to show the thermal ports. Okay, and let's move this one back. Like this. We will find a different place for the thermal batteries. Ah, that's actually... That's actually... Okay. I need that to connect to the thrusters. Yeah, we can place the screw up here. I don't know if that's needed. Okay. I didn't look at the assignments. Wait, there are no assignments on the entire ship. You just have crew and suppliers. You do want operators on this, I think. Oh no, it's an awkward amount. Yeah, but you definitely want crew assignments. They are even more important than crew roles. Like, assign this crew to, like, this half of the ship. That's really important. But, okay, we will worry about that later. Okay. Yeah, and with all of that... we can go for another radiator. Or we can just leave it like that. Okay. We could do this. What was the original price of the ship? Let's take a look. Let's put in another one for reference. Oh yeah. Okay, this one was more expensive by 10k credits. So... let's do a speed comparison. That's... you should do this. Okay. Yeah, my ship, this ship also now has more armor in the back, I think. Yeah. So this, the version with the overclocked thrust will also be slightly heavier. Okay, we have 86.7 speed, and this has 91.9 speed. And we are using large thrusters, which have faster ramp up than the huge thrusters. Whoops, here. And we are not torturing the small reactor because it's overclocked too now. So yeah, overclocking thrusters is you should do it whenever you can. It's a bit harder to do. It can be a bit finicky, but it's just more efficient. Okay, and something else. Our back is also more defended now. As you can see, here we have armor directly behind the reactor and the cockpits. Here there's this direct shot. The thrusters are pretty exposed. There are like 4 tiles where there is no armor. And on this ship, we have 2 tiles where there's something vulnerable. And then we immediately have an armor pillar. So it's also harder to pick off vulnerable components from the back. Okay, so much for that. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the backwards thrust on top here. We already have backwards thrusters on the side here. So those feel pretty redundant, and they are also vulnerable to like enemy fire. So I don't think I'm really a fan of those. I mean, I guess if you really have to use those, put them in the back, like put them right here. Here they are also protected from that side shield. The thrusters also have more leverage because they are further away from the center of mass, so they can also help with ship rotation a bit. And you don't have the exclusion zones which block your own structure placement. So yeah, right here their placement is fine, I guess. Yeah, maybe you can always do something like this if you want more structure support. I'll leave it like this for now. Okay, a lot of fire extinguishers. 2 is more than enough if you overclock them, which you should. Okay, yeah, I need to place the thermal batteries back. I need to find some space for those. One thing I can do is place them here. Okay, that's good. We do need a crossing though. Alright. Then, okay, we have an ammo factory for the flags. Yeah, normally, especially in domination where you can restock the ammunition at spawn, a storage is more than enough. So I would go with a storage instead of a factory. And if you use a factory, then you only want sulfur there. Wait, why is there... Oh, there is ammo assigned there, yeah. So I would replace all of this ammunition with sulfur if you really insist on using a factory. But I personally am going to replace this with a pure storage. So, okay, let's just put this like this for now. Okay. And yeah, something you can do with the shield is you can move it back here. Oh no, that doesn't really work. That cuts off some stuff. Oh, wait. You can put it here. You can move this thruster to here. And you can put the radiators here. And that's actually better than what we had previously. Because now this thruster is... Well, it also gives worse rotational speed, but this ship already has pretty decent rotational speed because of the backwards thrusters we have there, so it's fine. Okay, we can test how the rotational speed is. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's fine. That's good enough. Yeah. Okay. And the advantage with moving the shield back here is that we can supply it more quickly because we don't have to move through the storage there. But if we move it back here, we will have to overclock it. Yeah, but it still covers everything, which is nice. Okay, there are 2 airlocks as well. Wait. Yeah, you only need 1 airlock at most if you really have to place an airlock. Airlock is nice because of like some crew quarter gets destroyed. The crew can still enter the ship again. Okay. Yeah, those logistics are pretty scuffed. I feel like we will have to fix those. Okay, we need a door here to get to the disruptor. And let's just move some crew here. And yeah, this is let's make this normal crew and assign it to the flak. That's the rule of thumb. 6 crew is enough to man 1 flak gun. With this extra space, maybe we could like add another thermal battery. I mean, we are not really over the amount we can dissipate. Normally on domination ships you can be much tighter there. Okay, well, we'll just leave it like that for now. Okay. Let's have this crew be the operator for the control room. Okay, and this crew we will assign to the other side of the ship. Oh, and those shields, of course. Let's remove that for now. Does the ship really need that much crew? Let's cut this for now. Put some more armor in the center. Okay. Let's fire everything and see if... Okay, yeah, there does not appear to be enough crew now. And if we add some extra... don't supply the shields with that. And a bit more extra. And all of it, our crew is moving. That seems pretty good. I think that's a good amount of crew. A small optimization we can do is we can remove this and turn this into this and do this. Okay. Yeah. I would honestly love to just remove this thruster. Because the supply line is so horrible. And it's not really necessary and... Okay. Something we can do here is... I will remove this. And... I will add an overclocked small thruster with passive cooling. So put this here instead. And overclock it. Okay, because if you overclock small thrusters, they have 1.6 kilonewton and a normal non-overclocked standard thruster has 1.2. So this is actually stronger than the standard thruster and it's cheaper, even if you add the cost of the structure and such. Yeah, and yeah, it's only for like escaping, like moving backwards, escaping from rocks and such, and this sustains for so long before it starts burning. We are at 4x speed and only now it starts burning. For like quick bursts to get out of the rock, it's completely fine. And I just noticed those are overclocked. Those are not meant to be overclocked. Or maybe... Oh, maybe yellow overclocked those on purpose. Are those overclocked on purpose? Okay, and let's set the allegiance to neutral. Oh yeah, they are overclocked. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's move stuff around like this. And let's do this. Yeah, I didn't even notice those were overclocked because Yellowknight, you did a few things there that you're not supposed to do. Like, if you want passively cool parts, you don't want to place them directly next to each other because they are just gonna heat each other up. And you want to cover as many outside tiles as possible with structure. You did that. You did cover 1 and 2 tiles, but you want to cover all 3 outside tiles if possible, like I'm doing here. That 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll actually reduce the structure on this a little. The passive cooling is so strong on this that... And you need the frost so little that it's not gonna start burning anyways. So it's fine if I reduce that a little. Yeah, let's move this one up so that I also have more space for additional armor. Like this. Okay. Does this ship have auto ram, by the way? No, it doesn't. I mean, you don't really want to ram with this ship, but you should always add auto ram to ships just in case you do want to ram. But it's a bit harder to micro because you then have to click and drag the command if you don't want to ram. So it's just a bit more effort. So I guess I won't do it on this ship. But I would do it if it were one of my ships. Yeah. I do still want to fix the armor in the center. That doesn't look very good. And the structure bar in the front. Honestly, on this ship, I would consider using the narrow shield arcs. The reason for that is that it gives you more space for the structure bumper. And enemies can't face the shields as easily. Yeah, and you always have those 2 shields as a secondary defense if something like shoots you from the side or something at like some weird angle. Yeah, I don't know if that's really is better, but I would strongly consider trying that. It's just... Yeah, in general right now, those wide arcs are better in almost every application, so that's why I'm not exactly sure on this. It's just something I would test. Okay, I think I will actually go with the narrow arc, and just because it makes my life easier for the structure cage. Okay. Yeah, for yeah, for a structure cage, you want to use 1x1 structure. Because that just... Okay, how do I explain this? Like, if a bullet hits one structure piece, it can't penetrate further through more structure pieces. So... if you use the smallest possible structure piece, it's like the most cost efficient because it has less health, but it also costs less, and it still blocks the entire projectile from dealing damage to other structure pieces. That's why I even put triangle on the edges like this. And let's do this. Yeah, and on the edges you can, like on the end of the bar, you can put those longer pieces, because those positions it's more important that the cage doesn't get split in two than like the total health of the structure mass. Yeah, not sure if I explained that well, but there you go. Okay, and yeah. Good. Yeah, maybe you would want more armor on the side there. Not sure. Okay, but you definitely don't want that much armor in the center. Something like this maybe. Yeah. If you have this whole pillar full of armor, ships are just gonna shoot around it. It's not really gonna matter. Okay, that's another thing. We can do this for a little bit of a stronger connection. All right. I think that the optimization's on the ship done. So yeah, thanks again for submitting the ship, Yellowknight, and I hope you like what I did with it. Okay, I do think I still want to change something. I just noticed that the screw is still so far from the reactor, so... Okay, let's combine this triangle up here and Move this to here again. Then I can delete all of this. And on the other side, I can... Let's do this. Remove this fire extinguisher. Okay, and that way I can put both of those closer as well. And that's really good for ship compactness. Okay. And yeah, is there some spot for a fire extinguisher? I guess here. Okay, but one overclocked fire extinguisher is so good that it should be enough, honestly. Alright. So let's move the thermal battery maybe. It's awkward with wiring and such. I can do this. Okay. And that way I utilized the space there that I gained by adding another thermal battery. And let's do this for the armor. Okay, but now I'm really done. Okay, so thanks for watching.